Throughout your life as a spiritual person, you're going to realize something very quickly, so let's touch that right now. I was born in the Second World War. I don't feel any different now than I did when I was 16 or 19 or 71 or 42. There was one year I felt old because a bunch of friends had a 40th birthday party for me, and they were all a bit younger and had all these canes and so forth and so on, and that was it. So I disappeared for a while. I had a surgery and then came back and didn't want to walk around with the cane because I really needed it. And that was the only time I ever felt old, and that was just happenstance. And there were reasons behind it that made me move to another city temporarily. And so everything in your life that moves you, that changes you, that turns you, it's orchestrated from God. The part of us that's incarnate here is negligible. It's a whisper. And as soon as you get that and understand that the world, all of it is against you, even close friends and so forth are keeping you down in some way. Not that they're keeping you down and be worried about it, you'll see that you'll get more and more subtle and more subtle. And one day you won't be here. And you might live another 40 years after that, or 5 days. But you won't be here. I'm saying for myself that I've never felt different than I feel right this moment, because that's what spirituality provides. It's a base camp for everything we do here. But we're not here, and no matter how many times we try to express it to certain friends or students or loved ones, it doesn't really ring true. Until for each of us, it does ring true. Before going to bed at night, just think of 5 or 10 things you did. I went to work on time, I had a coffee, said hello to Joey at work, got home early. And if you do this in your mind, this is how the human mind works, and you knock those off in your mind, you write it on paper just before you go to bed, all the clutter of the day will disappear, and what you got done will be there, and you'll drop it. The cerebral cortex is 92% of everything that we think is wrong in our life is simply, it keeps looking for something. In the Orient, they call it the monkey mind, right? Which means that when you're in meditation, one of the first things you do is lower your center of gravity, and you're no longer in your thinking and mind, and then whatever you do is the right thing. You're rarely inappropriate, except when you're set up. And this world is here to set you up, to make you believe that it is here. It never was. It couldn't be. You're not a human being. You are an infinite soul. Everything that God is, you are. We can't think that because we're so humble inside as a spiritual being. And that humility is our oneness with God. God is infinitely humble, yet simultaneously in charge of everything. Every moment of your life has been ascribed to you by God. You're here for a reason. You are a great, great being by being here and knowing that you've never been here. That's the teaching. You're the instrument, the teacher, the Holy One. And you can't think it or say it. And yet you are it. And you only can't say it because people's minds, well, he said he's this or that. But to God, you can say it all day and it wouldn't matter. It just is. You just are. So you get very subtle with the teaching to instruct, to care, to lift, to heal all those you love and care for. So you make little lists during the day, and the thinking mind will kick off if you know you don't have to keep going over the same ground. And eventually you teach yourself to not think here, but here, and then here. I think in the Orient they call it the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha is that enlightenment state that as soon as you sit quietly, you are the Buddha. You understand that that's real and you'll feel it. The Dharma is the spiritual work, is to lift others. That's why we're here. There's no other reason. And the Sangha is a spiritual community, which isn't necessarily the people around you. You might have 5 or 7 people that love you and you're aware of an equal spirituality or a sense of God. But it's truly the Sangha are the angels of God. And you are the anointed. And you can't think it, but you must, from this moment on, know in a quiet place within you, you are the anointed one. You're here to end all of the madness, everything, every thought, every vile deed. You know what it does to you when you're aware of the awfulness of this present world. It's tedious to be here at times, isn't it? But that's the teaching, and it's a dark force coming at you all day, every day. Doesn't matter if it's coming at you with an axe or a very subtle innuendo. You get very quiet. It's all one force behind it. Satan, Mephistopheles, I like that from a book, or Lucifer, I like that one. It's a being that keeps us all busy here. All of it is equally dark. Whether it's nuclear science, a haircut, yesterday's news, tomorrow's love affair, it's all of the world. When you understand that quietly, this will not be here. When enough of us quietly understand that, this isn't here. It never was. All spiritual people have these awakenings throughout their life. What's being said is to simply understand that this is the last awakening. Because you're here, because I'm here, because 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 friends you have, or 1,000 are here. It's not that we leave people behind. People are not their body or the personality or the place in this world that they seem to be. No one is. No one was. That's why I started saying, I feel no different right now than when I was 18 or 6 or 29 or 50. This experience of God is forever. So we stop judging one another, and as a spiritual being, we all know that we know the heart and soul of those around us, don't we? We really do. We don't judge, we're there. We want to lift when we can. It's like the high tide lifts all boats, right? You're the high tide of the great ocean of life that we call God, because it's God, and we're God. You see how big that thought is? That's part of the dark force, is to say any identity in the world, it doesn't matter. It certainly doesn't matter to God. God's presence is with us to lift us beyond this. And we're here intentionally. Every split second is counted for, and part of this end time that we're speaking of at this moment. That there be time no longer, that the mystery of God should be finished. And that's from the scripture, and I think Paul said of the only way to understand the scripture that is written in a kind of secret is if you're spiritual, you'll understand it. It's a spiritual text. Forget who begat this or that, or Joseph, whatever, it doesn't matter. Catch on to the stream of it, the stream of consciousness, of spirituality, of a oneness with God, of a pure beauty. We're here as different rivulets and creek beds and little streams running down to the ocean. And with it, we're going to carry all that ascribe to the one teaching. We're here forever, we're not moving. You get deep in your concentration and your practice, and this will cease to exist. And enough of us do it, and this never was. Because once it's gone, it's gone. This little apparition called the the devil, whatever, this whole phenomenological world, solid things, whatever thoughts, doesn't matter. Nuclear science or poetry, it's all gone in the wind because of you. Understand there's nothing wrong with you. You won't grow old, you won't die. No one ever got old, died, anything. It's all present time. Anything that seeks to steal your joy, your happiness, your simplicity is the dark side. Doesn't matter if it's some government force, some anything, a friend, a foe. The only thing in time is you'll have a certain loneliness. You'll want to be around people from time to time, and you'll even step astride that, with that, and let it go, and you'll know your only joy is to teach, to give, to share this. That's why people fall in love. It's a beginning touch of what this is, but we're supposed to just give it. It just is. You just are. The madness is over on the midnight shift, the last shift. And this is it. We're the workers. And he's the author and finisher of the contract we've taken to be here. And it's not a contract like that, it's just, yes, dear Lord. And we were here through that aperture called birth. But we're not here, are we? This is being spoken to all of us who are mystical, who are spiritual. We know this is true within ourselves, and the whole world is colliding in on us in many different ways. And if we see that and know that and are clear on that, then bring it on, Satan. It just is. I'm here to protect my friends and loved ones, and you and I are here for a time and half a time, and we're gone. Meaning we might have lived 1 or 2 or 3 lives here to get the lay of the land, and now, as an artist, we know our tools. And with one brush stroke, the masterpiece is the wisdom of illumination, of enlightenment, of eternity, of God in you, and of you, and for you, and to you. Knowing that all this is thought form, this is spoken to for all of us who are mystically inclined, it makes so much sense. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Mr. Skolson. Thank you.